Welcome back. Best known for championing South African cuisines and as well as advocating for child wellness through good food habits, Tebogo Nape, also known as Chef Dede Wyt, reputation as well as, established foodie and cutting-edge chef, got him a few brand collaborations with a fresh approach to food and healthy eating, but not compromising the old way of cooking. He prides himself in celebrating his heritage through food. He joins us now this morning to share more on the fine dining ideas for the festive season. Tebogo, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome back to Morning Live.
Hey, what's up, Sims? How you doing? Thank you very much for having me back, man. It seems like Rubua, so one day I hope to be in studio with you, but hey, till this is done,
I know.
What it is.
It would have been great because I know you'd have brought some nice dishes, for breakfast for us who woke up at 4 a.m. But then Kovivi had his own ways, but then we move on.
I eat the Kovivi's got us, but also the guy watching, like they used to say in the hood, So we'll see. Let's wait it out, and hopefully everybody gets their vaccine shots and we're done.
The last time we spoke to you, Tebogo, you were sharing different techniques on how to prepare food during lockdown. So what have you been busy with?
Well, since then, the lockdown has eased up, and I got into a great collaboration with Castle Lager. And they're launching their brand called Castle Double Malt. So the Double Malt and I have gone on through a journey to reintroduce food in a way, like food that we've always known, food that we've always grown up with, but to try and elevate African food, to try and give it that little distinction that makes it that our food is great. Even if it's not presented in the way that you're used to, our food still remains one of the best in the world, because I always say this is Africa. This is where fresh produce comes from. This is where everything that the world wants to have comes from. I mean, the idea of a paradise is Africa.
The festive season is when we experiment different, techniques. When it comes to food preparation, we mix this and that, we do this and that, and then whatever comes up, we'll just see. Nasfika corner. But what are some of the easiest or quick meals we can prepare this festive season for our visitors?
I mean, if you want to do something really quick for the festive season, it's a hot season. We should always remember that food always goes with seasons and the temperature. So if it's something hot and stuff like that, you could loosen up, get some salads and try and avoid some heavy starches, your classic starches, your paps, your rice, your sam. Those things are left for another season. So try and avoid those and just gravitate more towards having your green salads, have that match that with the proteins, roast more vegetables, have more leaves, have more stuff that is fresher, because that will actually assist and aid in your system. And also, I mean, in December, we know what we do. It also helps you recover quicker instead of taking it 4 days.
But do you think South Africans would actually do that? Like on a Christmas day, eating greens?
South Africans actually do eat greens. It's just a matter of how they present it to them. We know them as several colors. We've always eaten leaves. We've always eaten vegetables. But it's just in a matter of how it's structured to them. Is that how we've made our food is that it's always made hot. Everything that we eat, samp is hot, pop is hot, everything, rice, hot chisa. So if you just repackage it and reimagine it, and see how maybe a green salad in a wrap would feel with a bit of that dry meat. If they're chasing the meat, they'll have to go dig it out of that wrap.
And since you're big on traditional food, Debs, what's your favorite and how do you go about preparing it?
I remember with the double malt lunch, I did one of the dishes that I did that I really, really am proud of is I took chocho and ting. So ting is fermented sorghum. It's a Botswana way, eat it in that way, and chocho is our version or our variation of pulled meat. So it's slow cooked over a period, and then it just simply falls apart. All I did was reimagine it, because this is the food of my people. This is the food that is used in celebration, food that is used in all kinds of celebration, when it's bad, when it's good. So I really love eating that. I also had very much fun reimagining things, because it's something that's eaten as porridge or as part of something that's sad. But the way we presented it, the way we did it with a bit of Parmesan, with a bit of herb here and there, it gave it so much texture, and it also made it very light.
I mean, what's the trick with traditional food? You just mentioned it. So do you prepare it the old school way, or you aromates here and there to modernize it a bit?
No, the thing about, say for example, Mujoru, right? I always tell people this that ask me about how is it that my food that's traditionally made is not the same. I know that layer of fat of Mujoru that sits there, and my Mujoru, whether it's cold or not, you still don't have to deal with that big brick of fat that's there. Because simple things, it's in the preparation, what you do before you start cooking. One of the things that we've created for the double malt is a Warts, but the Warts is made of Mujoru inside. So we're using the tripe. It's just simply how do you pull out the fat content in the Mujoru before you prep it? How do you lessen the time in the cooking of Mujoru so that it doesn't take the whole day to cook, just so that it gives you a disappointing result? It's in the basic preparation methods before and how you execute at the end. If you want to cook trotras, for example, maybe knuckle them, cut them into smaller pieces so they cook quicker. Anything that you cut into smaller pieces will cook quicker than something that is just big and cumbersome.
Did it just say Warts with Mujoru or Mujoru made of Warts? Really?
You watch this. What we've come up with the double malt team is so incredible. We're taking elements of old and elements of new to create something so versatile, something so mind blowing. If you take everything, it's how the herbs, the malts that are used there. They've taken two different malts, put them together to create this incredible tasting, creamy feeling. So I learned from that idea. What is it that I love eating? I love me some Mujoru and I love me some Warts. But Warts is a bit more modern. Mujoru is what we had growing up as a people. How do I put those things together? And then, there's one dish that we've used mopane worms as a biscuit. So we're pushing the envelope as to what we want to do with this. How is it that we want to take the beer and put it together with this element of the food, of course.
Speaking of Warts, Tebogo, I remember my grandmother when we used to grow up. She used to preserve the fat, that was, created after cooking Warts. And then she'd use that fat in cooking cabbage to give that feeling that we are actually eating Warts, and there was no Warts.
If you think about it's like stock. It's like
exactly,
stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like using beef stock inside that Warts. You see, the knowledge that your granny had with food to know how to take something small and make it go a long way. That's also what we're doing with this thing, to take the celebration of African dishes that were peasantry food, if you could call it that, to make them something that would be eaten by kings at a table to celebrate. And that's this whole idea of taking different elements, and putting them together to create something magnificent.
What do you find is the kind of food that people enjoy the most during the festive season? Well, 7 colors aside, because that's a given. But what else do you think is the favorite?
Meat. I find that different kinds of meat, people are willing to try out different kinds of meat to prepare in different ways. People become a bit more adventurous with their palates. Of course, because of the consumption of alcohol and the partying and stuff, people always want something a bit salty, a bit more savory. So that savory element with the different meats and stuff, it's what I really end up enjoying making and find that people love more in the festive season.
Well, the festive season is obviously upon us. Do you generally cook at family functions? And what will you be preparing this year?
Yo, my man, at a family function, I'm from a family where it's led by matriarchs. It's very strong women that lead our family. So I don't touch a pot. They tell me straight up and down, sit down, you will be served, and we will look after you. But generally, with my family,
must be nice.
With my wife and daughters, with my wife and daughters, I make. My wife loves roast chicken, and my daughters love wings. So I just make stuff that makes them happy, I guess, because I love anything. Anything. I love the simplest of foods. Give me some potwe and milk. Oof, I would eat that for you all day, because that's my stuff. But yeah, I think keeping it simple, because the festive is so busy. If you keep it simple, and always make sure that you don't want to overfeed people a lot of different things, because that's how people end up getting sick. We're used to that cousin who puked at the dinner table. We're used to, that's because there's a lot that's going inside them. So rather, just keep it simple.
All right, Dede Wyt, it's lovely chatting to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. And how do your fans follow you, especially those who love a taste of that Mujoru Warts?
Oh man, they can check me out on Chef Dede Wyt on all my socials, Insta, Facebook, and Twitter. They can interact with me. Drop me a message. Let's interact. Hopefully I'll see them soon at the next Council Double Malt Lunch show.
All right, all the best, Dede Wyt, man. Keep cooking.
Thank you very much, my brother. Have a good day.
Cheers, man. We just spoke to Chef Dede Wyt on different cuisines you can prepare this festive season. This is Morning Live. Let's take a quick break.